Yo, what's up, guys? Unfortunate loss for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight, losing to the Detroit Red Wings 3-2 in overtime, guys. Now, how are we feeling about this loss tonight to the Red Wings in overtime? Well, look, at least the Leafs got a point tonight, guys, but that is the frustrating thing, is that tonight I felt the Leafs could have easily gotten 2 points in this game tonight, so obviously, William Nylander tonight, guys. Obviously due to a lower body injury, of course, that he got hurt in last night against the Senators. So Easton Cowan draws back into the lineup. Cowan played on the fourth line with Lorentz and Lott, and we saw Robertson playing with Juan Joshua. And we saw the top six the same with McMahon, Matthews, and Domi. We saw Tavares, Michelli, and Nyes playing on the second line this time instead of playing on the third line. So that was the only change in the forward lines. Deep pairings, same shit as yesterday, but man, oh man, some frustrating moments in this game and some positive moments as well. I thought the Maple Leafs played 2 really solid periods for about, I would say, 35 minutes, 36 minutes until, Detroit started to dictate play a little bit. But that first period, I thought both periods were even, guys. I thought the Leafs did a really good job with zone entry, breakouts out of their own end, all zone time, dumping the puck in and forechecking, getting shots on net. I thought the Leafs were doing a very good job. Leafs had a great opportunity early on in the game. Scott Laughton had a breakaway. Unfortunately, he hits the post. Leafs had ample opportunity in this game tonight, guys, to score goals. They had a lot of very good chances to beat Talbot. We obviously saw Robertson have an opportunity on a breakaway. We saw Matthews who hit the crossbar, obviously, in overtime. We saw Jake McCabe had an opportunity in the third period in front of the net. Unfortunately, he was just a second too early there. Wasn't able to get the puck in the net there. But those are just a few opportunities that I can mention that the Leafs had great chances to score a bloody goal. Now, the first goal of the game was on another power play, shockingly enough. Great cycling by the power play. A really good job by Steve Sullivan, who's only in his second game as the assistant coach. I loved what I saw with the Leafs moving the puck. I saw guys changing positionings. I saw Matthew Nyes in the bumper position there near the middle of the slots there. So that was something different that we saw under Mark Savard. That was under Steve Sullivan instead of Mark Savard. So I'll tell you guys this, though. I really liked what I saw on the first power play. Matthews and Tavares. Tavares has the puck behind the net. They're great play by Matthews to get the puck in that little pass to Nyes, who beats Talbot 5-hole. That was a really nice play there by Austin Matthews, getting another assist, guys. That's his third assist in 2 games. So Matthews is starting to really feel it a little bit. Nice, getting his third goal in 2 games. A second straight power play goal for him. 2 straight games with a power play goal. So things are looking positive for the Maple Leafs. 3 goals and 4 power play attempts. Take a 1-0 lead. Leafs are looking solid defensively. They're not having difficulties, as we saw when Chris Tannen was out of the lineup. The Leafs look a little bit more organized, and that was really positive to see. It's the same thing in the second period, Leafs were doing really good things, dumping the puck in, getting shots on net, testing Talbot, and then Hildeby making some fantastic saves in the second period to keep the Leafs in the hockey and keep the 1-0 lead at hold, right? But unfortunately, as we saw, the Leafs were doing really good for 15 minutes of that second period, like I mentioned, what they were doing, and then Detroit started dictating play a bit more. The Leafs were turning the puck over a little bit, really testing Hildeby. Detroit was making it clear that they were trying to go high on Hildeby, top corners on each side. There were a lot of moments in that second period, the last 5 minutes, where I'm thinking to myself, the Leafs are playing with fire here. They're gonna give up a goal if they don't hem this shit and if they don't nip it in the bud. And unfortunately, as we saw, guys, Detroit hemmed the Leafs in deep in their own end for a good minute and a half. Matthews and Domi were able to change, but you had guys on the deep pairings that were on for over a minute and a half, like Jake McCabe was on there for 1:45. And unfortunately, Domi has the puck, but instead of taking a second to look over his shoulder, he makes a panic move, tries to whip the puck out of the zone, guys. Doesn't get enough of the wood on the puck there, unfortunately, as we saw. Detroit's able to keep the puck in. Snyder is able to get the puck in from the point there, shoot it on Hildeby, beat him top shelf. It was a play that could have been easily avoidable if Max Domi, who's not the best in his own end, as we know that he's absolutely like a headless chicken in his own end sometimes, Max Domi. And then you got Morgan Riley there too as well. So you're not gonna be able to prevent a goal when you got those guys on the ice at times in a hockey game. But Domi makes the bad play there, ends up biting the Maple Leafs guys. Detroit's able to tie it up. But I will say this. I still felt the Leafs were playing some good hockey. Okay, sure, they had a bad 5-minute five-minute moment there, guys. It wasn't a horrible game by them. It was still a 1-1 hockey game. The Leafs had an opportunity to come back out in the third and take the lead. Of course, Matthews unfortunately had to leave the game there at the end of the second because he took a puck off the foot. And then after he came back into the third, and I thought the Leafs weren't horrible in the third. They had some great opportunities, especially on the third goal where John Tavares, give him some credit, man, with battling for the puck on the boards, there's able to win the puck, finds Nick Robertson, and Nick Robertson, who I felt had a really, really strong game, guys, with an absolute slapper of a shot there, beats Talbot. It's a great shot by Nick Robertson to beat Talbot to make it 3-2 Maple Leafs. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, or 2-1 Maple Leafs, sorry, you're able to take the lead again. It's a 2-1 hockey game, and you just have to make sure Detroit does not hit you right after you score. And of course, not even 20 bloody seconds after the Leafs take the lead, what do the Leafs do? Of course, as we saw, they give up the tying bloody goal. Like, you cannot do that shit. You can't. Like, you are fighting for your lives right now. Every game is bloody vital. Detroit's at the top of the division right now. You have a 2-1 lead. You're playing some good hockey, some tight defensive hockey, low event hockey. Detroit was down and out there for a minute when you had a 2-1 lead. You were really frustrating the Red Wings. And you give them a lifeline like that by letting Appleton get in on you like that and score a knuckle shot on Hildeby. I understand that Ekman Larson and Stetcher, they hesitated for a second. They thought it was offside. But you got to continue to play there. And that shot by Appleton, it's a spinning puck. It fools Hildeby, and they're able to score. Like, that is back-breaking shit right there by the Leafs. You cannot give up a goal 20 seconds after you take the freaking lead. You just cannot bloody do it. You just can't. And then, like I said, guys, Leafs had chances after to take the lead, but unfortunately, the Leafs couldn't bury their chances. And unfortunately, we saw the game go to overtime. And listen, the Leafs deserved a point. I felt they deserved a point, but they could have easily been up 2-1, held the lead, maybe get an empty net goal, win the game 3-1. But they put themselves in the position to get into overtime. And Matthews, who was not himself after that shot, I think we can all agree, Matthews was not himself. He was looking lively in the first and second period, was moving his feet. In that third period, he just looked off after he took that shot in the foot near the end of the second period there. That obviously ended up leading to the goal. But Matthews is on overtime, takes an absolute snipe of a shot. Hits the crossbar, unfortunately. Talbot didn't even see that bloody puck. That puck was so fast, he didn't know where the hell it was. And then obviously, Detroit comes back down. They have an opportunity. Hildeby makes a great save. And then on the rebound, as we saw, Hildeby try to advance the puck to Matthews to get a breakaway. Really good effort for Hildeby to try to get the Leafs to win. Unfortunately, tries to knock the puck forward with one hand, not two. He's not able to recover. The Leafs are unable to recover. Michelli's left flat-footed. Evanson, the guy who Matthews took a slap shot on in the second bloody period. We thought that guy was out for the game. That guy's on the ground, sacrificing his head, diving forward, trying to block the stop, puts his stick in front of Matthews to block a shot. I thought to myself, that guy's out of the game for sure. The guy broke a bone. He comes back and haunts the Leafs and scores the overtime winner to give Detroit the extra point. And I'm thinking to myself, it's so Leafs, It's just so bloody Leafs. A guy leaves the game, you think he's injured, comes back, haunts you. Matthews, the guy who hurt him, gets hurt as well, has an opportunity to win you the hockey game. He hits the crossbar, and of course, Detroit comes back down, like I said, and they get the extra point. It's like, holy shit, man. It's like this hockey team here, no matter how good hockey they play, guys, it's just they always find a way to hurt themselves. Like I said, they could have won this hockey game easily, the Maple Leafs. This was an avoidable loss by far. They had many, many opportunities, the Leafs, to win this hockey game, guys, tonight, and they just couldn't find a way to win. You cannot afford to be dropping points right now, like I just stated. You can't. You need to win every game possible because of how shit they played the first 2 to 3 months of this season. There is no affording these type of performances. Good performances, but not able to get the 2 full points. You have to find a way to get the 2 points tonight. You executed on some parts, but on some parts of this game, the Leafs did not execute when they had to, guys. And that's the unfortunate part. Execution and margins, the smallest margins, will be the difference by winning and losing, guys. So, this is a really difficult loss for the Toronto Maple Leafs, guys. You needed to beat Detroit. Like I mentioned, top of the Atlantic. You got the Buffalo Sabres, who were just below you a week ago. They've won 8 in a row. Now they're tied with Florida for the second wild card. So it's not impossible for the Maple Leafs to go on a good run of games and find themselves back in a playoff spot. But this game here tonight just gives me a reminder that this team here has a lot of learning still to do before they even get back to a playoff spot. They're just not doing what it takes to win games, guys. They're just not doing what it takes to win games. The effort was there, yes, but the mistakes in execution was not there when it needed to be, guys. And that is the sad part about this loss tonight, guys. You had a valiant effort by Dennis Hildeby. 33 saves tonight on 36 shots. He was spectacular. At the end of the second, was great in the third, solid in overtime. I don't blame him for that play there, trying to get the puck forward. He did his best to give the Leafs a chance to win this hockey game, guys. And without William Nylander in the lineup, that hurt the Leafs. That hurt not having a dynamic player like Willie in the lineup tonight, even though there was some valiant performances tonight by Nick Robertson, who I thought played great tonight. McMahon's looking solid with Matthews and Domi, guys. Tavares had a good game with 2 assists tonight, guys. So there was some good performances. I like the line with Waugh and Joshua and Robertson. That line gives you a little bit of everything. Speed, size, physicality. So I don't mind that line at all. And I like the fourth line with Lorentz, Lawton, and Cowan. They have some chemistry there. So there's some good things to build on this hockey game. But the mistakes that they made tonight cost them. And that's going to kill you down the stretch if you want to make a playoff spot. Now, the Leafs have ample opportunity still to try to find a way back into a playoff spot. But you cannot be losing these games. You got to play New Jersey next game. You have to win that game there. You're playing your former head coach in Sheldon Keefe. You need 2 points. It's absolutely vital. Who knows what happens with William Nylander? He's day-to-day now right now with a lower body injury. We know Stolarz ain't going to be back anytime soon. Hildeby's held the fort down when Joe Wall needs a break. I think he's done a hell of a job for Anthony Stolarz, Dennis Hildeby. Getting Tanev back is great. Like I mentioned last video, he will only get better with time, and you can see that today. Tanev was playing great. At one moment, he went to the dressing room, I saw, so that was of a bit of concern. The last thing we need is Tanev going out again. So, like I said, guys, hopefully everything's okay with him. Just a bit of a knock, hopefully. Hopefully William Nylander is back sooner rather than later, because we're going to need him for this big stretch coming up in January. You're playing a lot of Eastern Conference opponents. You have an opportunity to find your way back into a playoff spot. But a game like tonight was a missed opportunity by the Maple Leafs, guys. I thought the Leafs played very well tonight at times in this game. You had some moments where the Leafs were not very good tonight, but that's the unfortunate part is that Detroit was just a little bit better than you tonight. They found a way to get the extra point tonight, guys, and now we have to see how the Leafs play on Tuesday night against the Devils, guys. So tell me your thoughts and opinions on this hockey game tonight, guys. Decent performance by the Maple Leafs, just not good enough. I thought the power play looked good tonight, guys, again tonight under Steve Sullivan. Penalty kills looking good as well. Penalty kills hasn't been the issue. Leafs are getting more shots on net, more opportunities, more ozone time. That's all great to see under new assistant coach Steve Sullivan. We just need to see this Maple Leafs team get some wins, guys. Get on a consistent run of wins, because if they don't, playoffs are going to evaporate very, very quickly, guys. So tell me your thoughts and opinions on this game tonight, guys. Click like if you like this video. Subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Go Leafs, go as always, guys. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Leafs Unfiltered. Ciao, guys.